येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Southern Division, the fifth wave, which is Sthāyi Bhav. We have discussed yesterday the 7 types of Gaunrati. You know, the Hasya, the Bhuta, Utsa, Shoka, Krodha, and Bhaya, and Jugupsa. And we saw how Rupa Goswami defines Hasya. What are the symptoms which manifest in Hasya, and how Hasya turns into Hasya Rati. The Mukhya Rati has to be there. The Mukhya Rati has to be there. And it becomes Parartha, and that's why there is Hasya Rati. And Rupa Goswami also gives scriptural quotations for each of them: Hasya, Adbhuta, Utsaha, Shoka, Krodha, Bhaya, and Jugupsa. And within Shoka and Krodha, we saw, how it can be, the cause can be Krishna, or it can be anything other than Krishna. So we saw that also yesterday. So today, the next theme which Rupa Goswami is going to discuss is the power of Rati. Rati as a principal cause of Vibhava, Anubhava, and other elements. So the Rati will become the principal cause of Vibhava, Anubhava, and other elements, and other elements that increase Rati. Hearing about previous devotees invokes Rati. The combination produces complete satisfaction in the devotee, and suffering caused by Shokrati is only apparent. So these are the topics which Rupa Goswami is going to discuss from here on. That is from here, 73. We have discussed up till here the Jugupsarati, and the famous quotation is Yadavadi Mama Cheta Krishna Padar Vindoyo. So now we will discuss the power of Rati, and these are the topics in it. Rati Tvat Pratame Keva Saptahasadayastata Ityashto Stahino Yavat Rasavastam na samshrita. As long as yavad, one among the five primary ratis. Ratitvat pratam ek pratamekeva. Along with the seven secondary ratis, sapta hasadayasata does not attain the state of rasa in an individual. Rasa avasthanam na samshrita. The eight are called Sthāyi bhavs. So there is a technical difference between uh, you know bhava and rasa. So these are all called as Sthāyi bhavs. Please remember, we have been discussing the fifth wave, which is Sthāyi bhav. And the primary are, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Of course, in that we have seen all the divisions now, up till now. And then there is a Gauna, Hasya, Utsaha, Shoka, Krodha, Bhaya, all these. Now, all these are all these are bhavas. That means the one among the primary ratis, the Shanta, plus the secondary, any of the seven, it does not attain rasa in the individual. As long as it does not attain rasa in the individual, then they are called as Sthāyi bhavs. They are called as Sthāyi bhavs. Now, when does it attain rasa? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. This verse is saying it doesn't attain as long as they don't attain rasa. So my question is, when does it attain rasa? Anyone? Anyone would like to? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, when these five components of rasa, when they mix together, then they give rise to rasa.
Yes, very important. Sudhanshu Prabhuji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna. So I thought even if five was there, even many times it some this
No, your voice is not at all clear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, I got unmuted, but
Hare Krishna.
how come? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
I'm audible, Prabhu.
Yes.
So what I was thinking that even we have even some devotee has Sthāyi bhav, then other component like vibhav etc. comes, when some uddipan etc. Then it converts into rasa. Otherwise it remains Sthāyi bhav.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. This is a correct understanding. I'm just giving an example. The mango juice, the juice is actually rasa. The juice is rasa where you relish it. Rasa is to be relished, Rasa is dravya. Dravya means the rasa flows, Bhagavata rasamalayam. So rasa is just like a dravya. So the mango is like the madhuri ras, just for example. But it has to combine with, jaggery, elaichi, and maybe ghee, all these items, and then mix together. And when it is mixed and you drink it, then you experience rasa. So similarly, these Sthāyi bhavs combined with the Samagri bhavs, the Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki bhav, and the Sanchari bhavs, then they give rise to rasa. So as long as they does not attain a state of rasa in an individual, they are called as Sthāyi bhavs. So till then they are called as Sthāyi bhavs. So that's the explanation given in this verse. Pratama here means the primary rasas. So the Pratama here refers to Pratamaikam, one of the primary rasas. If the eight attain the state of rasa, then they are called rasas, not Sthāyi bhavs. So that is a technical difference between bhavas and rasa. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we have been discussing since the beginning of the discussion on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the difference between bhava and rasas. When many bhavas combine together, it gives rise to rasa. So that's what the definition is. Okay. Chet swatantrastrayas trimshad bhaveur vebicharinah yashto sattvikas bhavakyastan asankaya. If they remain independent, chet swatantras, then the 33 vibhichari bhavs, trayas trimshat. Trimshat means, 30, traya means 3, 33. Bhava ayur. So bhava ayur, these 33 vibhicharina, the 8 ratis mentioned above. So the 8 ratis are, the one primary bhav, and then the 7 gaun rasas, hasya. And the 8 sattviki bhavs, ihashto sattvikas chaiva bhavakas, are called 49 bhavas or emotional states. Than asankayaya. So, I hope you are all good in mathematics. So there are 33. I'm not able to write here. I don't have a pen to write, but I think it's very clear. There are 33 Vabhichari bhavs. There is one primary plus 7, the Gaon rasas, plus the 8 Ashtasattvic bhavs. So 33 plus 8 is 41. 41 plus 8 is 49. So there are 49 bhavas. These are emotional states. Okay. Jiva Goswami on this. If these bhavas do not attain the nature of rasa by serving the Sthāyi bhav and thus remain independent, then they are considered to be 33 Vaivichari bhavs, the 8 Sattviki bhavs, and the 8 ratis. So there are 8 ratis, there are 8 Sattviki bhavs, and there are 33 Vaivichari bhavs. Now again, just to give another simple example, I'm just giving an example of Haigrave Mandi. How many of you have heard this Haigrave Mandi? Haigrave Mandi is which was offered to Lord Haigrave by one of the great Madhva acharyas. I think Vadiraj, Tirtha. I don't recollect maybe it is Vadiraj Tirtha. So Haigrave Mandi is a sweet preparation. It's a sweet preparation where there is tur dal, which is boiled, and then there are ingredients like jaggery, elaichi, then suji, or and then grated coconut, dry fruits. So all these are added, and it is prepared. Now, as long as these ingredients are separate, you identify, oh, this is cashew, this is jaggery, this is coconut, this is dal, this is so many things. But once the combination of that sweet is done, then you don't identify like that. I say this is sweet, I agree, sweet. So similarly, as long as these they don't combine and give rasa, then they are called these 33 Vabhichari bhavs, 8 Sattviki bhavs, and 8 ratis. Tan means the total of 49 bhavas. So there are these 49 bhavas. Okay, text 75, 76. Krishnanvayat gunatita praudhanandamayapi bhant ami trigunotpanna sukadukkamaya eva tatra spuranti hri bodhasahadaya satvika iva tata rajasvad garva harsha supti hasadaya vishadinata moha shokadayastamasa iva. These 49 states of mind ami, are completely transcendental to the gunas of matter, gunatita, and are filled with spiritual bliss, proud anandamayapi, being linked to the appearance of Krishna. Krishna, Krishnan Vayad. However, it may appear as if some of these states, Bhanti Tri Gunatpanna Sukha Dukkha Maya Iva, such as Garva, pride, Harsha, jubilation, Supti, sleep, and Hasya, Hasya, joking, arise from the mode of passion. And others like Vishada, despair, Deenata, lowness, Moha, bewilderment, and Shoka, lamentation, arise from the mode of ignorance. So these emotions which we experience, these emotions are springing from the soul because the Sthāyi Bhav is there. One Sthāyi Bhav means one is on the Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. So there is no question of, within the modes. These are Gunatita. There is proud Ananda. So although one must be experiencing Vishada, deep separation, lamentation, or Shoka because of separation, they look like they are in the mode of ignorance, but actually there is what? And they are filled with spiritual bliss. So that's how Rupa Goswami is clarifying here. The meaning of the verses is as follows. Because they are filled with the presence of Krishna, these bhavas are filled with spiritual happiness. So the second most important is not only Gunatita and there is Proud Anand. That is because they are in relation to Krishna. There is the presence of Krishna. And because even Vishada and other sorrowful emotions are related to Krishna, they should be said to be filled with happiness. The appearance of bhavas which involve sorrow arise through thinking that one will not attain Krishna. So these bhavas, they arise because thinking that one will not attain Krishna. However, the cause of that sorrow is the previous experience of Krishna. It is certain that devotees' aspirations will be fulfilled and they will attain him. That is, the Lalsa Mai prayers and all, that are offered. These are devotees' aspiration. After attaining the Lord, in order to remove selfish thoughts that the Lord belongs to oneself, which may spring from that attainment, and in order to nourish the joy of attaining the Lord, Vishad and other sorrowful emotions appear as part of that bliss, just as hunger nourishes enjoyment of food. So, we remember in the Ras Leela, Krishna was dancing with each and every gopi, and they thought, oh, the Lord is only dancing with me. And Krishna understood that, and Krishna immediately disappeared from that scene. So they are nourishing the joy of attaining the Lord, but then they went into this, deep lamentation. The Viraha Geet is there, the Gopi Geet. So these sorrowful emotions actually are also the part of bliss. And the example is just like hunger nourishes enjoyment of food. So that's how, rasa. Such emotions have the appearance of sorrow, but they are not really sorrow. This state of happiness and sorrow in the devotees appears like happiness and distress, which arises from material gunas in the non-devotee. So it appears like that, but it is not so. However, this state of happiness and sorrow is not the same. Bhagavatam says, Kaivalyam satvikam jnanam rajo vikalpikam chayat prakritam tamasam jnanam manishtam nirgunam spritam. Absolute knowledge is in the mode of goodness. Kaivalyam satvikam jnanam. Knowledge based on duality is in the mode of passion. Rajo vaikalpikam chayat. And foolish materialistic knowledge is in the mode of ignorance. Prakritam tamasam jnanam. Knowledge based upon me, man nishtam, however, is understood to be transcendental. So Jiva Goswami is giving this quotation to prove that all this is in relation to Krishna, and that's why it is transcendental. So it's not material. Okay. Okay. Text 77. Praya Sukhamaya Sita Ushna Dukhamaya Iha Chitreyam Paramananda Sandrapya Ushna Ratirmata. Among the bhavas, iha, it would seem that prior, those such as Harsha are filled with happiness, Sukhamaya Sita, and others such as Vishad are filled with sorrow, Ushna Dukhamaya. But the astounding fact is that Chitrayam, Rati filled with sorrow, Ushna Rati, is considered Mata to be highest, most intense bliss, Paramananda Sandrapya. So the Vipralamba Bhav is actually the most superior compared to Sambhog. We all know that, right? So this is how Rupa Goswami is explaining this verse. One would assume prior that bhavs such as Harsha, Sita are filled with happiness and others such as Vishad are filled with sorrow. Rati has by its very nature some sorrow even in meeting of the lovers, because there is predominance of longing during separation, which causes suffering, and worry about separation during meeting, which causes suffering as well. I hope you are able to understand this statement. If you have not understood it, just hold for a moment. Thus it is said, Adrishte darshanutkanta, drishte vicheda bhuritu, na dishtena, na drishtena, bhavata labhyate sukham. If I do not see you, adrishte, then I am filled with longing to see you. Darshana utkanta. And when I do see you, drishte, I am filled with fear of separation. Vicheda bhurita. Bhu, bhiruta. Thus, both on not seeing you, na drishtena, and on seeing you, drishtena, I do not attain happiness. Na bhavata labhyante sukham. So, there is distress because of not meeting the lover, the Lord. And when you meet, there is, intense, fear or distress felt. Oh, that the Lord will go away. So these are the feelings of separation. So anyone knows this particular, emotion in the prema, what it is called in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Of course, it's not discussed here. There is a particular emotion which is bhava, which is being described here in this statement and this quotation. Anyone knows what it is called? Anyone knows this? It is called as Prema Vaichitya. Prema Vaichitya. So this is described that this pastime happened in Prem Sarovar. Prem Sarovar is in Sanket. It is in between Nandagram and Barsana. So one day evening, Saket is a secret place where secretly Radha and Krishna meet. And Radha and Krishna had come to meet there, and Madhubangal was guarding. And suddenly, Srimati Radharani was on the lap of Krishna. And a bee started hovering around there. And Madhubangal thought, that this bee is troubling the my beloved Radha and Krishna. And Madhubangal, out of spontaneous love, he just took the stick. Go away, Madhubangal, go, Madhu, oh, go, Madhu, he said, and he ran like that. And suddenly, Srimati Radharani is on the lap of Krishna, and she feels that, Madhu is also, Krishna, who is the killer of Madhusudana. So she felt that, Krishna is gone. Although Krishna was, Srimati Radharani sitting on Krishna's lap, she started crying in separation. And seeing the love of Srimati Radharani for him, Krishna also started crying in separation. And both their tears together formed what is called as the Prem Sarovar. The Prem Sarovar. So, so similarly is this Rati, and the meeting of the lovers, there is, again, when they're meeting, there is, there is separation in the meeting and there is suffering. So that's what is being described here. Siter bhaver balishtastu pushtasit kyayate hyaso ushnestu rati atyushna tapayan tapayat tapayat tapayantiva bhasate. The rati predominated by sorrow, such as Shokrati, balishtastu, when nourished by pushta, strong, joyful Vabhichari bhava, siter bhaver, becomes joyful. Sita yate yaso. The sorrowful rati, nourished by sorrowful bhavas such as Vishada, Ushnestu rati, become more sorrowful, Ati Ushna, and appears to give suffering. Tapayantiva bhasate. It looks like that. So there is a, a joyful Vabhichari bhav. So the rati which is predominated by sorrow, shok, but when it is nourished by a joyful Vabhichari bhav, it becomes joyful. But the sorrowful rati, nourished by sorrowful bhavas, such as Vishada, becomes more sorrowful and appears to give suffering. Please remember, it appears to give suffering, but actually it is not like that. It appears that Lord Ram, is, feeling the pangs of separation when Sita was abducted by Ravana, and is lamenting. But actually, in that deep suffering, there is a deeper union which is happening in the heart. And that is giving intense spiritual bliss. That is what is Vipralamba Bhav, which is, the typical mode in which the pastimes of Vrindavan, whether it is the Sakas, whether in Sakiras, whether it is the elderly Gopas and Gopis in the Vatsaliras, or it is the Gopis in the Madhuras experience in Braj. By a joyful bhav, Site, the sorrowful Rati becomes joyful. So we also have experience in this world that somebody is, lamenting because somebody has left the world and he's been lamenting for many days. And one friend comes and then he starts joking and everyone starts laughing. So he also starts laughing for some time and he forgets the misery, So that sorrowful Rati becomes joyful. So similarly, it is like that. This means that the sorrowful Rati becomes one with the joyful states. So that sorrowful becomes one with joyful. I gave this example. A sorrowful Rati does not itself produce pain since it does not have intrinsically an intense suffering. However, by the Vabhichari bhav such as Vishad, it becomes intensely sorrowful and thus appears to give pain. So this is very important for us to understand. There is already, a sorrowful Rati. And there is another Rati, Vabhichari bhav with a Vishad. Then it becomes more intense. And it appears to give pain. Remember, it appears to give pain. So in Ayurveda, there is a principle, samana guna vriddhi. Samana guna vriddhi means, actually in the natural state, there is prakriti. Prakriti means, all the bhavas, that is the, kapha, pitta and vayu, they are in balance and you are healthy. But when there is aggravation, say the pitta has got aggravated, and you eat item which is something also pitta. So the saman guna, there will be vriddhi. It will get aggravated more. The pitta will get aggravated more. Similarly, there is a sorrowful rati and the vabhichari bhava of Vishad, adds to it. What happens? you become intensely sorrowful, and it appears to give pain. So these emotions we have experienced, that you're going through, maybe you're going through a bad phase in the life. Somebody in your family very dear to you has left, and you're going through this sorrowful pain, and somebody, instead of coming and giving you, solace, he puts more salt in it, and he says, what is this? You're lamenting like a fool. you know you're not this body, your spirit soul, all this is on the bodily concept. What he's going through, he knows, although the philosophy is there, but emotions are emotions, what one is experiencing. Or, I'm giving an example. Sometimes neophytes, I have this own experience. Uh, Sometimes when, you meet a person who approaches you, and he's going through a pain that somebody has left in the world, and he's feeling this sorrowful pain. And then, instead of feeling the same distress what he is feeling, if you start preaching, Array, this is all, this all lamentation is, in the mode of ignorance, Vishad, Arjun, Vishad Yoga, you start speaking, you know, and then you start preaching him, you're not this body, your spirit, soul, all this, bodily concept, you're not this body and all that. If you start doing that, it will become, more intenseful for him. So the pain will increase. But in the case of, these bhavas, the intensity increases, the pain increases, but there is deeper bliss experience. The qualities of these bhavas which arise because of preparation from the Lord impose themselves on Rati. It is similar to the medicine called Yogaraj, which takes on many qualities by having a combination of ingredients which have a variety of properties. So these qualities of these bhavas, like Vavichari bhava of Vishad, which arise of separation from the Lord, they impose on Rati, just like the Yogaraj. Yogaraj is a combination of many qualities of many properties of combination of medicines, and then it is very, very strong, so it becomes strong like that. This is the appearance only because it is temporary. This is an appearance only because it is temporary with beginning and end. However, after the imposition of separation from the Lord, that interim period where one experiences the pain of separation appears to be permanent. So, next verse, text 79. Now here in text 79 onwards, Rupa Goswami is going to describe that Rati is the principal cause of Vibhav, Anubhav and other elements. So that's what he is going to describe. Rati dvidapi krishnade shrutir avagate smritehe ter vibhavadittam yadbhis tadbhakteshu raso bhavet. The primary and the secondary ratis. Ratir dvidapi produce vibhavs, anubhavs, satviki bhavs and vavichari bhavs. Ter vibhavadittam, through hearing, shruter, experiencing, avagate, or remembering Krishna. Krishna, de spriti. All these combine yadbhis to become rasa, rasavavait in the devotees. Tad bhakteshu. Okay. The two types of rati, rati duda, are primary and secondary ratis. By experiences, avagate, about Krishna and dramas, hearing about Krishna and contemplating Krishna, the two types of rati then manifest vibhavs, anubhavs, satviki bhavs, and vichari bhavs. Actually, rati has to be there, first thing. The Sthāyi bhav has to be there in the form of this primary and secondary. And how this rati is experienced, how this rasi turns into bhava, rasa, is three ways. One is by experience, which is there in the heart, about Krishna and dramas, hearing about Krishna, and contemplating. Three things. So, especially, I would like to focus here on dramas. And traditionally in India, in the Vedic times, and even maybe 50 years or 100 years back, there used to be dramas. And one of the devotees from a traditional Madhva background from Udupi was telling me that in his childhood, he was attending a drama on Mahabharat, and the Draupadi Vastra Haran Leela was going on. And it went on for 7 days, and all the audience are completely, all their senses, are concentrated on what is happening in the drama. And Draupadi here is requesting Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra is not acting. So the emotions go so high in the audience that the audience get up and they start speaking. Oh, Dhritarashtra, you should do something about it, So these are the experiences, of that emotions. And these experiences can be through dramas, through hearing about Krishna and contemplating on Krishna. And then these two types of rati, the two types of rati are the primary and the 7 secondary, then will manifest vibhav, anubhav, sattvic bhavs and vyabhichari bhavs. And then the combination is going to give rise to rasa. That's the point. Here he gives a example. Yata adikam dravyam sarkara marichadibi samyojana visheshena rasalakyo raso bhavet. As yogurt becomes rasala, yatha dhadi adhikam rasala, by mixing with particular ingredients of sugar and pepper. Dravyam sharkara marichadibi. Marichadibi is black pepper. The two types of rati become rasa. Akhyo rasa bhavet by combination with elements of vibhav, anubhav, satviki bhav and vyabhichari bhav. So by the combination of the rati with vibhav, anubhav, satviki bhav and vyabhichari bhav, it gives rise to rasa. Just like yogurt becomes rasa when it is combined with sugar and pepper. Otherwise, it's just, yogurt is yogurt. It's a bhav, Sthāyi bhav. But the Sthāyi bhav with these ingredients of sugar and pepper will give rise to rasa. Okay. Any questions you have up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? I hope the discussion is clear. Okay. तदत्र सर्वता साक्षात् कृष्णादे अनुभावद्भुत प्रौढ़ानंद चमत्कारो भक्ते को अप anurasyate. Thus, through that rasa, tadatra sarvata, the devotees, bhakte ko api, directly experience sakshat anurasate, an astonishing chamatkaro, deep bliss, proudananda arising from realization of Krishna and related things. Krishna there, anubhava adbhuta. So it's a matter of experience, experiencing, I don't give a lecture on how relishable is gulab jamun. But when I give you the gulab jamun and you taste it, then you experience gulab jamun. Similarly, rasa is experienced. And that's why by direct experiencing, you feel what? Chamatkar, astonishment, deep bliss, proud anand. And it's all happening because of realization. So the jnana gradually transforms into Vigyan. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vigyanam mukta sangasya param prajet. Saratyadi vibhavader eki bhava mayopi san gyapta tad visheshascha tad udbhedato bhavet. Though the ratis and the elements starting with vibhav, saratya adi vibhavader become one entity in the state of rasa, eki bhava mayopi san, there is still awareness of their difference. Gyapta tat tad vishesha cha, because of their original separate identities. Tat tad udbhedato bhavet. So here it is being mentioned that although, this rati, with the combination of vibhav, anubhav, satviki bhav and sanchari bhav, become one entity as rasa, but still there is awareness of the difference. Again, I'll give an example of the same example which Rupa Goswami has given us of, the curd has become rasala because of the pepper and the sugar. Now it's all mixed together and it is one state. But yet, you cannot now separate out the sugar from the curd now. The pepper also, it's difficult if it's the pepper powder. It's all become one. But still there are distinct identities still maintained. That's the point being made. Okay, now he gives he speaks. It has been said, yata choktam. First, pratamam, the ingredients have distinct forms. Vibhavades to bhagasha. But when they mix milita, they attain the form of rasa. Kajanto rasa rupatvam. They assume oneness. Pratiyaman yanti akhandatam. However, when pepper and sugar are mixed together in a drink, yata marichi khandade. Khanda means, khanda means sugar. Sugar is called as khanda. One can still recognize pepper and sugar. Panake kashachit kwapi. It's panaka, it's called as panaka, if you may know, no? Sugar, pepper, and water when it's mixed together in a drink. Similarly, tata in rasa, rase, though vibhava and other elements, vibhavades, become one entity, eki bhave, they can be recognized in a subtle form. Udbhasaha. They can be recognized. That's a point being made. Rate karana bhuta ye Krishna priyadaya stambhadaya karabhutas cha nirvedadaya sahayaka. Krishna and his devotees. Krishna priyadaya. Act as the causes of rati. Sthāyi bhav. Rate karana bhutaye. Spontaneous actions such as paralysis, stambhadaya, and actions involving intellect are the effects of rati. Kara bhutascha. Self-deprecation and other minor emotions, nirvedadaya, and the other accompanying factors, sahayaka. So, the cause of rati is what? Krishna and his devotees. Attraction, basically, between the lover and the beloved. And there are spontaneous actions, such as paralysis, and there are actions involving intellect, which are the effects of rati. The actions involving the intellect are the effects of rati. What are these called technically? Anyone among the ingredients? Okay, I know one hand will surely get raised, but Sunita Mataji. By this time, if we have been regularly attending these classes, you will clearly understand. Sunita Mataji, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I didn't get the question.
Yes, okay. There are spontaneous actions such as paralysis. This paralysis among the ingredients, there is, vibhava, there is anubhava, satviki bhava, and sanchari bhavas or vabhichari bhavas. So what is paralysis? Whether it is satvika bhav or vibhav or anubhav or sanchari bhav, what is it?
Sanchari Bhav.
No. It is ashtasattvic vikars. Paralysis is ashtasattvic vikars. Okay. Sudhanshu Prabhuji, now you answer me. If spontaneous actions such as because then actions involving intellect are the effects of rati. So what are these actually? Yes, Sudhanshu Prabhuji.
Out of these six, na Prabhu?
Out of only, there are only 5
So,
bhavas.
sorry, four, yes, sir. So out of these, matlab, bhavas, na? So it is anubhava, I think.
Yes, excellent. Very good. I'm very happy, pleased. It is anubhavas. And there are self-deprecation and other minor emotions. What are these then? Who will answer? Okay, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. They are the Vyabhichari Bhavas, Prabhuji.
Yes, Vyabhichari bhavas. They're all sayakas. They're company factors. Very good. Hitva karnakaradi shabdavachatvam atrate rasodbhode vibhavadi vyapadeshatvam apnuya. When these mix together, atrate, and transform into rasa, rasudbhode, they give up the names of cause and effect. Hitva karana karadi shabda vachatvam. And they assume the names apnu of vibhav, anubhav, satviki bhav, and vichari bhav. Vibhavadi vyapadeshatvam. Text 87. Ratestu tad asvada visheshyati yogyatam vibhavyanti kurvantyat ukta dhirer vibhavakaha. Those conditions which cause vibhavyanti kurvantiti, rati, relationship of love, rates to become very suitable, ati yogatam, for relishing particular taste, tad asvada visheshaya are called vibhava, ukta vibhava, acceptance by the wise, dhirer. So now, if you see what Rupa Goswami is doing is now, he's each of the ingredients defining, which he has already done in the previous chapters. He has defined Vibhav, what is Anubhav, what is Satviki Bhav, what is Sanchari Bhav. But now he is again defining them. So the conditions which cause Rati to become very suitable for relishing particular taste is called Vibhav. These are the special definitions of what was already explained to make the point clear. So it's already been explained, in the first chapter only, Vibhav. It's already been explained. So, but now he's again giving it to make it clear. By using the word Vibhavyanti, the author explains the origin of the word Vibhava. Those elements which cause Vibhavyanti, Rati, to become most suitable for relishing the various tastes are called Vibhavas. Beautiful definition of Vibhav. So I have been explaining very, very simple examples. The mother has natural Vatsalya Bhav for the child, and the child is not present. He has gone to the school. When he returns, and the bus comes and the gate opens. So these are all the uddipans that stimulate her Sthāyi Bhav of Vatsalya Ras. And then the Vishaya, Vibhav Alaman Vishaya, and there is the Vibhav Alaman Ashray. There is reciprocations. So the Vishaya has to be there. So that which causes Rati, to be relished, the Vibhav has to be there. And the mother, opens her arm to embrace or kisses the child's cheeks. All these become, Anubhavas. So like that, Vibhav is being first described. The following verses similarly explain the other elements of rasa. So the other next verses, will explain Anubhava. Tam chanubhavyantya antas tanvantya asvada nirbharam it ukta anubhavaste katakshadaya cha satvika. Those elements such as glancing, te katakshadaya, accompanying by the satviki bhava, say satviki, which produce fullness of rati, tanvante asvada nirbharam, produced by the vibhav tam, in other words, which spread within the mind an additional relish. Anubhavayanti, cha anubhavayanti antas are called anubhavas. Itti ukta anubhavas. So this is a definition of anubhava. those elements which further relish, anubhavyanti, that rati produced by vibhav. So what is anubhav? Anubhav is that follows vibhav. There is love for the Vishaya Alamban, that is the child. For mother has love in her heart. This is the Ashray Alamban. And this elements which further relish is, opening of the arms, embracing, all this, these which follow are anubhav. So what follows after vibhav is anubhav. In other words, which produce fullness of taste. Asvada nirbharam within the mind is called anubhavas. The taste becomes full because of the full expression of one's rati. So there is, you're able to express your heart, the love in the heart by, opening of our arms, embracing like that. Okay, now the anubhav is defined. Now sanchari. Sancharyanti vaichitryam nayante tam tata vidham ye nirvedadayo bhavaste tu sancharino mata. Those mental conditions such as nirved, self-deprecation, ye nirvedadayo bhavas, which produce further variety in the rati, sancharati, induced by the vibhavas and made more enjoyable by the anubhavas, nayante tam tatha vidam, are called sanchari bhavs or vibhichari bhavs. Te tu sancharino mata. Tad vidham means rati which has become tasty through vibhavs and anubhavas. Okay, so Prabhupada on all this, what he speaks, let us see. The particular type of ecstatic loving sentiment that develops within the heart of a particular devotee is considered to be vibhav. As the resultant manifestations such as moving of eyebrows, fear, astonishment, and smiling, which have been explained here and before, are called anubhava. The different causes of developing anubhava and vibhava are called steady ecstasy or sanchari bhavas. So that's what Prabhupada says. Not really much, but the verses are very, very clear. Text 90. Okay, what's the time? Yeah, we have a few more minutes. Let us try to finish this. Yeah, I'll just take another verse and then we will end here today. Etesham tu tata bhave bhagavat kavya nattayo sevam aho param hetum kechit tat paksha ragina. Those attracted to poetics. Kechit tat paksha ragina. Actually, it is kavya. Poetics are kavya. Say that aho, hearing skillful poetry related to the Lord. Sevam bhagavat kavya. So these Ragina, they are attracted to hearing skillful poetry related to the Lord and seeing literary dramas related to the Lord. Natayo are the main causes, param hetu, for realizing the nature of all these elements in the devotee and the Lord. Ete shamtu tad bhave. So that's why I was mentioning that it is more important that there should be poetry. Of course, today we don't have that fine sensitivity, neither the knowledge of Kavya Shastras, which is not at all an easy subject, where just by reading poetry we can relish. But dramas, are very, very captivating, the emotions, and they become the cause for relishing all this, so that's what is being mentioned here. Tatha bhave means the nature of vibhava and other elements of rasa. Srila Prabhupada, whenever there is recitation of poetry or a dramatic play on the different pastimes of Krishna, the audience develops different kinds of transcendental loving service for the Lord. They enjoy different types of vibhava, anubhava, and sanchari bhava. That's what Prabhupada says here. Okay, the last verse. Kintu tatra sudushtarka madhuryadbhuta sampada rater asya prabhavoyam bhavet karanamuttamam. However, into the ultimate cause, karanamuttamam, of understanding these elements is the influence of rati directed to the Lord. Asya rati prabhavoyam bhavet, which is inconceivable, tatra sudustaraka, sweet, madhurya, and most astonishing, adbhuta sampada. Jiva Goswami. Asya rate means that the rati related to the Lord. The power or splendor, Ayam Prabhava of Rati related to the Lord as inconceivable, sweet, and most astonishing, which is explained in this work, is the ultimate cause of understanding it. Okay. So I'll stop here because this next purport is a very elaborate purport, which will continue our discussion in the next class. So any questions up till now, what you have? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay. Yes, Veer Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Prabhu, this Jnana and Vijnana you mentioned. So,
Mhm.
Prabhu, this Vijnana is, we can refer this is relating to Bhava stage, Vijnana?
Uh, we cannot exactly say, we have a little realization that we are not this body. We have the theoretical knowledge that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. But we are not situated on the transcendental platform. So we are not, having that realized, we are not a self-realized soul. That's our goal. So there is a theoretical knowledge, and with that we begin our practices, and the realization is there. It's not like a digital it's not like a digital thing from 0 to 1. We might be having right now about the bhakti sambandhit gyan 20%. I'm just giving an example, but we might having 2% realization, then it increases to 50%, and then we have 10% realization. But that's how it is. Gradually there's a transformation which is happening internally, and the gyan completely becomes vigyan at the stage of bhava. That's the point I wanted to make. Is it clear?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sudhanshu Prabhuji. Yeah,
Hare Krishna. So I have two questions for you.
one at a time, please.
First one is that this when we say that this bhavas, whatever are there, bhavas and sakti bhavas, it comes from the soul.
Uh-huh.
But I think that 2-3 verses ago, the word came in for a line
No,
of
your
came
voice is
to
your
mind.
voice. Hold on, your voice is not at all clear. You'll have to speak very clearly in the audio. Your mic.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
So, am I audible clear?
yeah, little better.
Okay. So my question is that this anubhavas and sanchari bhavas, all these bhavas comes uh, from the soul.
Yes.
But I think in this two, three this verses before, this came that it come in mind or something. It come from mind.
Okay. You have to understand the mind is a pivot where these emotions manifest. Now, when one is in the bodily concept, also it is through the mind only. Arjuna in the first chapter, Vepatushe sharire me roma harshasya jayate gandivam samsrute hastat, and that verse, it's all because of the bodily concept. Prabhupada says very clearly. Of course, that's by arrangement of Krishna. So so that is based, that is because of uh, but it is manifested through the mind, but it is from the bodily concept. But similarly, when one is on the transcendental platform, Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma, so these emotions spring from the soul and they are manifested through the mind. So Prabhupada in the purport, if you see here, I'm taking this purport on 1.29, Vepatusha Sharire Me. There are two types of trembling of body and two kinds of standing in here and end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or great fear under material conditions. So they occur in ecstasy also, in great fear in material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fame, loss, alone. So, but the mind becomes a pivot for both the emotions to be expressed. That's the in the great fear and material conditions, the mind is conditioned, but the mind is completely pure and transcendental, in the spiritual condition. That's it. Mind is the pure for both, expressing both these emotions. Is that clear to you?
Yes, Prabhu. But just I want to understand too, when we say soul here, it means spiritual body, na, Prabhu? Or is it soul only?
It basically refers to a sadhya, a devotee who has attained sadhya, who has attained bhava bhakti. His body, he might be having a body, but that body is spiritualized in this world. And then he's
Yes,
experiencing this. He's experiencing this. And once he goes to the spiritual world, then everything is spiritual. So even sadhakas who have attained sadhya, even they experience it. So it refers to both who have attained, by sadhana, sadhya, and also those who are the nitya siddhas. Okay?
yes, Prabhu. And
Okay.
other one, I understood in the same way was thinking. Other was Prabhu, like this Ashta Sakti Bhav, Prabhu.
Uh-huh.
Is it a separate category or it comes under some these
That
Anubhava or
we have discussed. It is one of the ingredients. It is one of the bhavas. It is one of the ingredients. We have discussed that. Samagri
maybe I
bhavs
missed
are
it.
vibhava, anubhav, satviki bhav, and vabhichari bhav. These are the four. So it is a separate category in itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vinita Mataji. You had a question, Vinita Mataji. Are you there, Mataji? You had a question, na? Okay, no. So, okay, so tomorrow we'll continue and try to finish this syllabus. Very, very interesting discussion going on. So, thank you very, very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai. Shri Rup Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.